It's Monday, May 14th. Welcome to Pastor Bob Daily. Jeff on Facebook says, I was wondering if you could tell me why today's Christian bands hold up the devil's horns, and also ask the crowd to hold up their devil's horns. Even at Christian festivals, you see this a lot. I've seen some bands preach a great sermon and share the Word of God, and then turn around and say to the crowd, let me see your devil's horns. Thank you, Jeff. Do you know what devil's horns are, by the way? Some of you may not. It's when you put your hands like this, and it's really been the symbol for heavy metal, Christian heavy metal, any kind of heavy metal. And, Jeff, this really lends itself to a broader question, and the question would be this. Should you use symbols that have their origins in something that might be occultic, or at least cultic? And and if we decide the answer is yes, then you really have to start restricting a lot of things in your life. Let me explain. For instance, that wedding ring that may be on your finger has huge pagan, occult origins. Did you know that? That's where it came from. We use it for a different symbol today. Well, let's talk about the church building for a minute. The church building itself, as Constantine was very involved in bringing a building and calling it church instead of churches being people, used it from pagan worship. And many of the symbols that we're still using in our churches, including the steeple and a lot of the things inside, were from pagan worship, not Christian. A lot of them. Or our holidays, Christmas, etc. Pagan origins. Now, should that and does that stop us from celebrating? Well, a lot of things have changed today. Before you take off your wedding ring, let's talk about this. What we believe about things today and maybe where they started in yesteryear are different. And folks, I don't think most of you know where the wedding ring originated, but you know why you wear yours if you're married. If you go to church, and I hope that you're involved in a fellowship of some kind, you don't stop going to there because the building had its origins in some kind of pagan worship. It doesn't mean that today. Christmas, one of the greatest times for the family. Wouldn't it be a shame if we stopped celebrating Christmas just because we're afraid of its origins? Christmas can mean anything you'd like it to. And today, even though Christ wasn't born on December 25th, we celebrate his birth, but we celebrate family that day also. So what about these things that have their origins in something else? I think we can go crazy with it, and we can stop using the symbols and the holidays and all of that. And by the way, you'd have to stop a lot of things. If you really start to study our origins in so many things, you'd be hard-pressed. But let's get back to your question. And some people call it the devil's horns. Many just call it the symbol for a love for heavy metal music. And I don't think that people really know what the origins are these days. Some people might. But what do we use it for? Now, Jeff, I'm a little confused about something you said here. You hear some bands preaching a great sermon and then say, let me see your devil's horns. I've never heard a band say that. I think that's a little bit unusual. And I've probably been to more Christian festivals than anybody listening here. I've never heard that. Although I see the symbol used all the time from people that love the music. And it's a way to say, I love what you're singing, I love what you're doing, I love this music, and they identify with each other. And they're not identifying with Satan. So we could get really picky and say we can't use that because of its origins. We could do the same thing with the wedding ring, with church buildings, with Christmas. But is that really where we want to go? I don't really have a problem with people using those things if they'd like to. And I think it's important that we don't restrict and that we use the symbol as it is used today and really begin to celebrate its meaning there. I hope that helps. And again, it's your decision what you feel comfortable with. God bless you. Have a great day.